Compared to previous episodes, Manhunt Episode 4 moves through its primary plot points at breakneck speed, as Edwin Stanton's hunt for John Wilkes Booth hurtles towards its endgame. The episode also departs almost entirely from the true story of John Wilkes Booth in favor of exploring some of the historical conspiracies on both sides of the American Civil War, even if there is no concrete proof about the players involved. All the major notes in Manhunt Episode 4 are based on real-world events, but as has been the case throughout each episode, liberties are taken to accentuate the intrigue. While Episode 3 of Manhunt took a closer look at the socio-political climate surrounding John Wilkes Booth's assassination of Abraham Lincoln, Episode 4 touches on the economic implications of his actions. Once again, the latest episode of the historical drama explores the overarching question of whether Booth was part of a larger Confederate conspiracy. The narrative continues to play out in service of that grand conspiracy, regardless of whether it's historically accurate. There is no proof Stanton ordered the assassination of Jefferson Davis. The show touches on the real-world Dahlgren affair. Edwin Stanton discusses the assassination of Jefferson Davis in Manhunt. One of the most significant points made in Episode 4 is that Edwin Stanton, under the guidance of Abraham Lincoln, ordered the assassination of Confederate President Jefferson Davis. The episode opens with Booth discussing with reporter Sanford Conover how to best counter the growing belief that Stanton was behind an assassination order, and the point is revisited at different points in the episode. In a flashback, Lincoln directly gives Stanton the go-ahead to take out Davis in order to bring a swift end to the war, and George Sanders brings it up again in his office when Stanton confronts him. The reason this is such a scandal is that it was considered a breach of protocol and honor to attack a sitting president, even in the course of war. That's the crux of Lincoln and Stanton's conversation, whether Jefferson Davis, as the leader of a nation that isn't actually recognized, counts as a sitting president. The two men concur that he doesn't, and Lincoln puts Stanton in touch with a friend of his, Admiral Dahlgren, who has a son who can be relied on discreetly. This is a direct reference to an incident known as the Dahlgren Affair, in which orders for the assassination of Jefferson Davis and his cabinet were found on the body of Union Colonel Ulrich Dahlgren after a failed raid on the Confederate capital of Richmond in March 1864. The papers found on Dahlgren were published in Southern papers and created outrage among the Confederacy that the orders came from Lincoln and/or Stanton. It was widely speculated that this was what gave Booth, and any of his would-be supporters, the confidence to take such drastic action against Lincoln. Whether Lincoln and Stanton were behind the Dahlgren plot or not is historically irrelevant, as it was never connected to them. Manhunt progresses as if it were completely true, which builds upon the back-and-forth espionage at the heart of the show. In reality, Dahlgren's father claimed the papers were a forgery, and there was never any legitimate tie to Edwin Stanton outside of speculation and circumstance.